it's Megan
and Sue,
the Spine Breakers. And today we just wanted to do kind of a recommendations video, but we want to start it off with a statement and just say that we stand in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement. We are actively working to kind of check our privilege and do the work to be the best allies / co-conspirators that we can be. So we just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, and we're, this is going to be, as it should be for everyone, an ongoing lifetime commitment to being an ally. It's not something that you should just do for a couple weeks while it's trendy and then forget about. So that's going to be our goal.
Yep, and white people, this is going to be uncomfortable for all of us because we got to look at some stuff about ourselves that is not great and check it. So it's going to be uncomfortable and lifelong, but super, super necessary. So
and it's uncomfortable to have those conversations that you have to have with people in your life, as I think most of us don't enjoy confrontation.
Truth.
But, that's, honestly, it's the least we can do.
Yeah.
It really is.
It really
So
is.
just fucking do it.
Just fucking do it. Fucking boss up and do it.
Yeah. But today we wanted to recommend to you guys some sci-fi and fantasy-ish books that we have read, since our channel is kind of more focused on sci-fi. These are some books that we've read by Black authors that we really liked, and we think that you should read because they're just fucking good.
Because they're amazing.
Yeah.
So we kind of wanted to shout them out and give them some more recognition. I mean, I'm sure that most of them, all of them, you've probably heard us talk about before, but
and that's something we that's not what I thought you were going to say, so I started to say something else. But yeah, we have talked about all these books on our channel before, but also these are pretty popular books. Like, chances are you've heard of them already.
Right.
But that's something we want to work on too, is like seeking out more books by Black authors that maybe aren't as popular, because I think science fiction especially is a genre that, like, it can be difficult to break into as a person of color, because it's been very dominated by white men for a very long time.
It's a super gate-kept genre for sure.
Yeah, so I really, we both really want to, like, seek out some other books by lesser-known authors and support Black authors.
For sure.
But before we do that, we wanted to mention some channels also. These are booktubers who mostly, or at least partially, focus on sci-fi and fantasy books, and they're all Black booktubers, so we wanted to shout them out and tell you about them in case you haven't heard of them. And we definitely think you should check them out.
Yes, we think you should go subscribe to their channels, watch the videos, and
Oh, and I also wanted to mention, I will put information in the description. Of course, I'll link all these people, but I'll also put some information for, like, petitions, places you can donate. Also, you can look, find your local organizations that support your Black community. There's usually, like, local chapters. At least in every city, there's local chapters of, like, NAACP and Black Lives Matter. So I'd encourage you to also look that up in your own city and consider supporting your local organizations.
Yep. And also, we would encourage you to look up Black-owned businesses in your communities and go spend money there.
Yeah, support them and continue to.
Yeah.
Don't just do it once.
Don't just do it in June because it's a hot topic, but, like, continually do it. So,
So the first channel that we want to shout out is Onyx Pages. Her name is Injeri. Her channel is pretty much all focused on sci-fi and fantasy, specifically Afrofuturism and African futurism. Definitely check her out. I think she's, like, super underrated, especially like if you enjoy sci-fi. I think you'll definitely enjoy her channel. And you'll get a lot more recommendations than what we are able to give you.
Yeah, for sure.
So definitely go check her out.
The next channel that we want to mention is Noria Reads. Noria does the Fuckathon, which is amazing. It is a readathon happening in July, and it is awesome. And if you're not participating or if you hadn't heard of it before, I wholeheartedly recommend that you do it because there's so many things we want to say fuck it to.
Yeah.
And
we did it last year and it was fun.
It was amazing. So yeah, if you don't subscribe to her channel, if you don't know about Fuckathon, please go check her out because it is a really, really awesome readathon.
So the next channel we want to give a shout out to is Tori Morrow, and she reads quite a bit of SFF on her channel. I would say that she's like a little bit more eclectic. So she reads, I would say, similar to us, where it's like mostly SFF, but also
a little bit of whatever sprinkled
other
in there.
things mixed in. Yeah, but I think her channel is really awesome. Check her out.
Check it out. The next channel that we want to mention is Left on Red. Coolest channel name ever.
Yeah, I love her channel name.
Some booktubers have like super clever channel names.
Yeah.
And it always makes me like giggle a little bit. But yeah, Left on Red is super clever. So Left on Red is Jordan. She reads, again, pretty eclectically, but she does have some sci-fi stuff mixed in there. She recently reviewed Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler, which you know if you've been around our channel for any length of time that we adore.
And she said it was amazing, and we wholeheartedly agree.
Yes, 10 out of 10 agree. So yeah, definitely check out her channel.
Yeah. The next channel that we want to shout out is Ghost Reader, and he reads, again, pretty eclectically, but there's definitely like science fiction and fantasy mixed in. And he reads like a lot of really interesting nonfiction books too, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, that's kind of like a genre that I don't read a whole lot of, so it's nice to hear people who do read a lot of it talk about that, because like I just don't.
Yeah, and I think when I do read nonfiction, it's often like memoirs or essay collections instead of like history. Things like that. But I think I feel like if you watch us, you're either into science fiction or you read eclectically, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
And he reads pretty eclectically, but also there's some sci-fi in there for sure.
In there. Okay, so the last channel that we want to give a shout out to is the Book Barrel. His name is Will. He's a new channel. He's got 2 videos posted. In his Booktube newbie tag, he mentioned that he loves Octavia Butler. He also shouted out Scott from the Book Invasion, so we feel like he's probably into sci-fi. We're looking forward to seeing more of his videos. You should definitely head over to his channel, subscribe to it. Yeah.
So those were a few channels we think you guys should check out. And we'll, of course, link those all below. I think there's also some playlists that have been going around of like Black booktubers you can check out. And so I'll link some of those playlists below too if you just want to like check out all kinds of channels.
We definitely just want to try to use our platform.
Platform.
God, my northern came out. It fell right out. We just definitely want to try to use our platform to amplify Black voices, so that's kind of what.
And you know, we know BookTube can be pretty white.
Yeah.
And this is a topic that's been brought up multiple times in the past, that BookTube's pretty white.
Yeah.
And because bigger booktubers are mostly white, I feel like that's, white channels are often what you're getting recommended.
Right.
So you don't often see channels for
Black people
of
people of
color.
color.
Yeah. And so, yeah.
So let's talk about some. We say a lot. Let's talk about some sci-fi books from Black authors that we love.
Right. So, if you've been around our channel for a while, you're probably tired of us talking about Octavia Butler. But we're never going to stop.
We're never going to stop. No.
Sorry about it.
Probably going to talk about her more here recently, so get used to it.
But we love Octavia Butler. I would honestly recommend anything that she has written.
Except for Don't Start with Fledgling.
Don't Start with Fledgling.
Don't start with Fledgling.
That one's polarizing and has some stuff in it that some people
find problematic or a little awkward.
Or just, all of her books have uncomfortable things in them, but this one's something that some people, can't deal with, I guess.
Right. It skeeves people out, is what we're trying to say.
But I still think it was a really good book, but it's just I wouldn't be a starting point because
No, I loved it, but don't start there.
It could turn you off from her.
Right.
But my favorite thing I've read from her so far, I do still have a few of her books left to read, just the Patternist series. The rest of it, I've read one book in that series, and then her short story collection. Mm-hmm. Does she have one collection or two?
I feel like she has one, but I could be wrong about that.
Yeah.
So
she has Bloodchild, the short story collection. I thought there was like one.
No,
that
there's
hadn't
another
been
one
formally published.
Yes, there is another one. So she's got two. So because I read Bloodchild, but there's a second one she has that I have on my Kindle that I haven't read yet.
Yeah, so I need to read both of those collections. But anyway, my favorite thing that I've read by her so far has been Lilith's Brood, aka the Xenogenesis series. This is a trilogy. This is like a bind-up of all 3 novels. But there's been nuclear war on Earth, and these aliens have saved what humans they could.
Right.
They keep them like cryogenically frozen, similar to
in
that.
stasis.
And they wake up one woman. They choose a woman to wake up first, and it's Lilith. And they sort of have her help them choose people to awaken and like become. Why am I so bad at describing this?
Kind of be like the leader of the humans and kind of be like an ambassador for her human race.
Yeah.
With the aliens.
Yes, but what they want to do is like interbreed with humans.
Yeah, and
some
like
humans aren't into that.
Yeah, and like the whole question of like the consensuality, is that even a word? I'm gonna make it a word. Is very questionable. Like the whole subject of consensuality is super questionable throughout the whole.
Right.
At least, especially the first novel.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah, and Octavia Butler just, she's so good.
Oh my God.
She's so good. I love her writing style. It's very straightforward and to the point, which I think is like what you want in this type of book. I also love her characters. She's really good at writing characters who you like and you're rooting for them, but they don't always make the right decisions,
and they're not perfect.
That's real life.
Yeah.
So I think her characters are very realistic and just so good. And she writes about, her books all definitely touch on like real world issues, and she's just brilliant. I'm so sad that she died pretty young, and we could have had so much more from her.
So another Octavia Butler duology series that we want to mention is Parable of the Sower, Parable of Talents by Octavia Butler. It's a duology. This, for me, rivals Lilith's Brood as far as my favorite Octavia Butler. I have not read Survivor, and I have not read her second short story collection. I've read everything else, I think, that she's written. But so Parable of the Sower, Parable of Talents are about the United States has devolved into kind of a third world country. Politically, it's a wreck. Economically, wreck. Most people in the U.S. are living in extreme poverty. Communities.
Sounds familiar.
And this duology is so eerily similar to like current world events that like
she's a prophet.
She's a
I'm
prophet.
Sure she was a prophet.
It's creepy. Like it's eerie. I'm rereading it right now because I feel like I really need what she has to offer right now. And so I'm probably gonna regret it because it's probably gonna like just shake me to my core. But like I'm gonna try it. But this woman, Lauren Alamina is her name. So she is the daughter of a Baptist minister, and she always kind of finds some issues with her father's faith, and it doesn't really fit for her. And so she is consistently questioning. So she's also like hyper empathetic, and so if she sees someone with an injury or some kind of malady, she feels their pain. And so she kind of sets off on her own and starts her own religion where God is change rather than like God is a magical sky daddy. And so, it is about her and her followers trying to survive this fucking post-apocalyptic nightmare. And she's also trying to build her religion and like spread the word about her religion. So but seriously, this duology really shook me to like the core of my being the first time I read it, and I'm sure it will this time as well. But there's literally a political candidate in these books whose slogan is "Make America Great Again." Mind you, Octavia Butler died in 2006. I'm not sure when the original version of this was published.
I think it's sometime in the 90s, I believe.
93.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just spooky, and like just the climate of the United States in these novels is so similar to the climate now.
And that presidential candidate is very much like Trump. It's like Trump times 10.
He's a little amplified, but like
he's worse
much
than Trump, but like
not
very
much.
Similar.
Right.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
no,
that duology is like very apt for right now.
So if you want to lean
Scarily.
into the shit show that is the United States right now, I highly suggest that you read Parable of the Sower, Parable of Talents, because wow.
So the next thing I want to talk about, books I want to talk about, this trilogy, the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. This is the first book, the 5th season, then the Obelisk Gate, and then Stone Sky. But this is another post-apocalyptic type of series, but it's set in kind of a bit of a fantasy world.
Yeah, like Earth, not Earth.
Yeah.
Like Earth adjacent.
In this series, there are things called seasons, which are these sort of catastrophic environmental changes that happen periodically, and so people have to like adapt and learn how to survive each time the world changes. And so it starts out in what they call the 5th season, where something catastrophic happens.
Yeah, super.
And people are trying to survive. In the first book, you're following 3 different characters and like their different experiences and their different walks of life. All 3 characters, I believe, are origins, which are these people who can like manipulate
rock and earth,
and so, but they're kind of almost enslaved in a way by the rest of society, because if you're discovered to be an origin, you're either killed or you're sent to this place called the Fulcrum, where they kind of train you and use you as they see fit.
Basically to kind of help stabilize this planet.
So, I don't want to say much more about the series, I don't think, but it was really fucking good. Like, I was fully immersed in this world. Especially my favorite of the 3 books was the first one, the 5th season, but it was just like so good. And it's one of those books where it's like I was just kind of in awe of like how intricate this world was and this system was.
Whenever an author can do that and I feel like I am in it with them, that's incredible to me. And I think N.K. Jemisin did it beautifully.
And just the intricacies of it. I'm just like, how does someone come up with that in their brain? I'm like, I can't even stay focused enough to like write a 2 paragraphs.
We're lucky if I write a sentence, friends. Like if I write a sentence and I make it to the end of it, we're lucky. Yeah. Like it was incredible.
And I really, really want to read some more stuff by her. This is the only thing I've read by her thus far, but I'm definitely going to.
I would read anything she wrote at this point. Yeah.
Stuff by her.
So I want to talk about The Deep, which is by River Solomon with David Diggs, William Hudson, and Jonathan Snipes. This is a novella about the children of pregnant slave women who are thrown overboard on the slave ships, and they are born in the water, and they turn into this like merfolk. They turn into mer people, and there's this entire civilization under the sea that was sprung from the unborn babies of pregnant slave women who were thrown overboard. And so it's about one in particular. So the merfolk don't retain their historical memories. Like, they don't retain memories of their society. There's one designated person who holds the memory of the culture for everyone. And then there's one day of the year where it's a collective sharing of the memories. So they meet together, and this one person who holds all of the memories basically walks them through their history. And they mourn together, and they grieve together, and it's a very physical and visceral experience. And so this particular person who holds the memory is having a hard time understanding, like, why they have to go through the trauma of holding all of that for everyone. And they're like, why can't we all hold some of it? And so it's kind of about that, and it's about, I don't want to ruin it, so it's about that person's wrestling with kind of the ways of their people, and like how to change it, if they should change it. But yeah, it was incredible. It was really, really good. It was unique. I had never read anything like it before.
I haven't read that one, and I really want to.
It's so good.
It's really interesting.
It's really good. I was captivated. I was super captivated. It's a novella, so it's short. It's a really quick read. But yeah, super recommend it.
All right, and then lastly, I'm going to talk about the Binti series by Nnedi Okorafor. There's, again, 3 short books. These are more like novellas in this series. So her people are very much about, like, staying with their own people and, you know,
retaining their cultural ways.
But Binti gets into this really prestigious school that is on another planet. So this obviously takes place in the future. And then on the ship on the way to the school, it's taken over by this other alien species who is notoriously very, like,
they're brutal, and they take no prisoners.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna look them up really quick. Okay. Oh boy.
So she's the only survivor of this attack, and so it's kind of about her trying to communicate and survive with this other species,
this weird species
who is so unlike her and unlike anyone she's ever encountered.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really good. I mean, it's super short. I did kind of. The first book definitely left me wanting more. It's the smallest book in the series. But I think, like, as a whole, it was really good.
Yeah, I listened to it on audiobook, and it's a really good, I think it's a good series to listen to. Like,
yeah.
Because you can do it because I know for me, like, I don't like to listen to audiobooks that are like 20 hours long, because I have no attention span.
Right.
But those are kind of like bite-sized pieces. They're narrated super well, and they are very captivating. So,
yeah, and I also have read one of her. I don't know if she has more, but I've also read a short story collection by her called Kabu Kabu, and I listened to that one on audiobook, and I really enjoyed it too. It has a lot of, like, Nigerian folklore and
That's
stuff
really cool.
incorporated into the stories. So I thought they were really interesting.
That's awesome.
Really good. So
yeah, so those are some sci-fi books, sci-fi fantasy books by Black authors that we love.
Yeah, so if you guys have any recommendations for books you've read and enjoyed, let us know. Yeah. Also, if you know of other channels we should check out,
let us know. But again, we just wanted to say publicly, I mean, we have on other social media platforms, but we haven't on YouTube yet.
Yeah. Also, I realized that we haven't really said much on Twitter. That wasn't, like...
That's not intentional.
We just don't use Twitter. But we probably should have thought to do that.
We probably should have, yeah. So, we stand in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement. If you need us to come get other white people, errant white people, let us know. We would be happy to rein in errant white people, because I feel like whenever situations like this happen, I feel, and I'm open, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like there's this trend where white people go to their black friends and they ask them to educate them, and they ask them to direct them and to teach them, and I feel like that's really unfair. So if you
that shouldn't be like. Ultimately, this is a white people problem.
Yeah, so like it's not
us.
your black friend's responsibility to educate you on racism when there's so many resources available where you can learn for yourself if you just make the effort.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you need us to come and get errant white people, we will come and grab them for you.
And we're all, and we're obviously not perfect, but we're always open to learning more, and if we do fuck up, like, please let us know and we will correct that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're both very open to accepting the fact that, like, we're not going to do this right all the time. You know, there's definitely a culture of systemic racism that we have benefited from our entire lives, and so we're going to fuck up this whole allyship thing. So if we do that, and you feel like you want to correct us, please do.
That's gonna be it. We hope you check out these books if you haven't read them. Check out these
follow these channels.
If
subscribe.
You aren't already.
Do it, and do Fuckathon next month.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.